Last time on my journey west to Flaming Gorge, I camped on the Yampa River just a few miles east of where I am now. And on the way, I decided to take a trip up into Dinosaur National Monument. And this is the foothills that I'm riding up into now. And this turned out to be such an amazing place. I really had no idea, and I wonder why nobody has talked about this place before. Maybe I just missed all the conversation. I don't know. But this was simply an amazing journey. Just getting up there to the top of Echo Canyon was quite an amazing journey. As you can see, there's lots of curvy roads, lots of beautiful vistas on the way up, and that only became better as I stumbled into a place known as Echo Canyon and Echo Park, which is at the bottom of the canyon. Really an amazing place, and I highly recommend a trip at least up into the monument. It's free to get up in here. It's free to get down into Echo Canyon and the park, which is where I'm turning into now. I'm not sure that I would recommend big bikes going in there. You can get down close to the bottom, but once you get down to the bottom, it gets real sandy and deep, and it's pretty slippery. I had trouble on my big bike, and just getting down these switchbacks is pretty hairy. So I think if you're adventurous, go for it, but just keep in mind that it's steep here on this first section, and it's very dangerous at the bottom. There's lots of deep sand, and if you're good in sand, then go for it. If you've got a lighter bike, or if you've got decent tires, and I had street tires all over the bike at this point. You can see how far this thing goes down. That's just the start. That's the visible start. The canyon, I think it's Sand Canyon, starts below all this. So once I got through the steep switchbacks, the real interesting parts began. And I would like to encourage anybody in a vehicle, four wheels. I think anybody with a four-wheel vehicle could get down in here pretty easily. You might get stuck in the sand. There were some warnings on the road down that it's impassable when it's raining, and obviously it doesn't rain a lot around here, but apparently it gets pretty tricky. And this is the part of, I believe it's called Sand Canyon, and this is the beginning of Sand Canyon. It starts getting really amazing down in here, but it starts turning into something that I've never seen in my life as you get deeper down in here and you get closer to the river, which is, it's just all an amazing spectacle, and it's something that I would highly recommend everybody in the area that's on four wheels come check out. If you're on two wheels, just just be careful, or have the right bike. Obviously I didn't have the right bike, but that's really never stopped me before. I'm always taking the wrong bike in the wrong situations. I'm at Echo Park at the bottom of
Dinosaur National Monument. This is pretty extraordinary. Not just the ride down here, but once I got into the canyon, I think they call this Sand Canyon. I think it's Sand Canyon, but yeah, it looks like we're surrounded by rock. I mean, and just sheer monster rock too. Monsters of rock. And I rode down on this. This is, I think it was 14 miles. About halfway down the switchbacks, I started thinking maybe I've made a mistake, because it was steep enough that it would have been, if I'd have just changed my mind somewhere along those switchbacks, it would have been extremely hard for me to keep the bike upright while turning around. But I made it down here, and then I had a sand patch down here. That was fun. I really want to play I want to show you the whole damn trip down here, but I'm going to have to edit it. Or maybe I'll leave an unedited version too. Is this not fantastic? Looks like a perfect place to fly a drone too. Always my local pets. Where did he come? Where did he go? He's in there. He is right there. Little bitty guy. He's quick too. So I was in a bit of a panic when I got down here, when I realized I don't have any food. This is a lot more ham than I thought I had, so this should do me just fine. I got a little bit more of the smoked Gouda, but I was really happy to see, I forgot all about this. I don't have any emergency food. This is the closest thing to emergency food I've got, which is string cheese. Usually I keep some nuts or something, just in case I spill or like just didn't prepare like today. But I'm gonna cook up this this ham. But I got to show you my little, this table is way off of kilter, so I'll put some quarters in here, and as you can see, it levels out pretty good. It's still tilted a little bit down, but I think it's gonna be just fine. Hard to see that flame. Already made me some tea. I'm starving. So tonight's going to be a repeat kind of last night's meal, which was ham and Gouda steaks. I turned them into like little miniature fillets. And they were so freaking good. I'm going to try to do the same thing tonight. Whoa! Balance there, fella. See, this could all go wrong on this little grill. All this preparation could go wrong if I'm not really careful. So I have emergency cheese just in case. Ham steak. With a little bit of Earl Grey. Perfect temperature. Let's see. Let's see what this first one. See if it's recreating what I had last night. sure it's just my hunger. All that it's just my hunger talking. Well, it's dying down now, but a storm just whipped up. Blew a whole bunch of crap off the table. Well, no, it's still here. It's a weird afternoon storm. It's very dusty too. Well, it's dusty down in this canyon. Just the wind hasn't been blowing till now. We'll see if I can get the rest of this. Get the rest of my dinner down before I have to relocate to that tent, because it looks like it may rain a little bit. I don't know. Weird Colorado. Well, that's actually great Utah. Across the border. About 20 miles ago, coming in through the monument. See you later. Now that was sudden and violent, and look, it's 10 minutes after the storm. It pulled all 6 of those little wimpy little aluminum stakes out, and I had to replace them. Hammer those stiff stakes into the ground to keep the thing. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It would look like the wind from this side was going to collapse the tent, and then it would switch sides. It would come from the other side. Then it would come from over there, and then it would come from over there. It was like being in a tornado. It's really weird. I guess that kind of makes sense. This is kind of a bowl here. But it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So I hustled and grabbed all the electronics and threw it in the tent. And while I was in there trying to keep the tent from flying away, the damn tent was hitting me on the head. And I was in the middle of the tent. Anyway, that was fun. Not very relaxing, but fun. And there was a rainbow over there, but it's gone. You can see it, apparently it gets very violent in the canyons. I was not aware, but now I am. So to give you a little bit of an idea of how dry Colorado is, everything on this table was wet, at least the table. Now there's very few spots. Here's a spot right there that's still wet. Everything else is dry. That was 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago. And everything's dry. But that's kind of what I keep telling everybody. People don't realize how dry it is out here. If you're from the east, if you're east of the Midwest, it's humid. It's not humid out here. It's weird. If you haven't been out here, you got to come experience it just to understand I'm not lying to you. It's really weird. So it's 7:30. And I wanted to walk over to the boat ramp since I'd already walked through the campground. I went down to the river earlier and took a quick shower, just washed my hair really and rinsed all the filth off that I've been riding in today. And it was totally magical when I walked down through the woods. The woods were magical. And then I popped out on this crazy, fast-moving, deep river and was just shocked beyond belief. And I mean, I know these beautiful rivers are out here. I just wasn't expecting it in this beautiful valley. But this is not quite what I stumbled upon. What I stumbled upon was around the corner here, but still, it's just unbelievable. And I bet they've got some tricky rapids, because this is a fast-moving river. You can't really tell here, but it looks like it's deep. It looks like it may be 20, 30 foot deep and fast. And look at that monster right there, just sticking out here. Wonder how many millions of years it took to carve this canyon. Probably not a lot. That's all sandstone, but maybe a few million, maybe 50 million. I don't know. I didn't pay attention in geology that much. But isn't this magnificent? And look at the slope. You can see why it's so fast. I mean, you can't tell the slope, but I bet it drops from that corner right there to down there. I bet that's 15, 20 feet of drop. That is just fantastic. I'm going to drop Mr. Earl Grey here on the ground. And I'm going to set up my camera, and then I'm going to walk over here and soak my feet and hope I don't fall in because I got my keys to my bike. And it's not really that cold. To do this morning is make it out of this canyon. The tricky parts are going to be these sand washes. Probably not really that tricky on a smaller bike, but on a big heavy bike, it starts going one way, tires start going another, and it makes it really tricky. I've had coffee and I can't talk. But I'm going to stop at the petroglyphs up here and probably at that rustic cabin. But I am a little bit concerned about the sand. Is probably a couple feet deep. And there's probably trenches in the middle of them. And here's a nice little water crossing. I haven't had much trouble with the water crossings because they're concrete. Stay on your line. Everything will be fine. Yeah. There we go. Not too bad. I think that was the easy one though. Pretty sure that was the easy one. Definitely. That was the easy one. This is the hard one. Almost didn't get my foot off in time. Yeah. That was the hard one because it's an uphill and it's got ruts and holes in it. So it's gonna, when your wheel hits those ruts, you don't know it. It's kind of like rocks underwater. You don't know that your wheel is in those ruts or the holes, and then your wheel comes up against something that's really slippery, like a slick rock. And you're struggling. I don't think we're quite through it. We got some more here. But this is just a little bit of a warning for people that want to come down here on street bikes. And I think the So we're gonna go visit some petroglyphs real quick because we can.